Subject-subject communication are interactive but also in exchange between a subject and a technological device. In this second example, interactivity takes place at the interface, which could be defined as the place of interaction. According to Leader, this symbiotic relationship between the subject and the computer is what will make it possible to achieve efficiency in intellectual operations that is difficult to achieve by a subject working in isolation. The Ogner project, which allowed a group of workers to share information within a computer network that does expand their productive capacity, constitute a fundamental stage in history that led to the construction of current interactive digital machines. A part of the staff that collaborate with Engelbart at Stanford came together in the beginning of the 70s in the mythical PARC, the Xerox laboratory in Palo Alto, where the first computers with a friendly graphical interface were created. Although Engelbart came from the hard science like Bush, he was a well-rounded intellectual who always expressed an interest in the social uses of technology. In his letter to Bush, the young engineer described his work program as an exploration of the growing ability to manipulate symbols applied to solving concrete problems. The philosophy that inspired in his research is based on a hypothesis summarized 3 decades later by Pierre Levy. With these words, the different concatenations of media, intellectual technology, language, and work methods available at a given time fundamental condition the way of thinking and function in a group of a society. He led them to design and build numerous devices that revolutionized the way people interact with digital machines.
The importance of interactivity in the new forms of communication in the digital era. In the 1980s, before the emergence of the World Wide Web, Heather identified and analyzed the challenge that interactive technologies pose for interpersonal and mass communication. These early interpretations are available for constructing a theory of the new forms of communication. Heather emphasized the importance of interactivity in the theoretical debate about communication in the digital era. Although the concept of interactivity is difficult to define, Heather identifies 6 key dimensions of it. Number 1, increased number of choices. Users are no longer simply audience or passive spectator, but they must make decisions even when consuming traditional media. They always select or search for information instead of receiving it passively. Number 2, increased effort from user. Since users must invest more time and energy to access information, the question of interaction between the individual and machines arises as a central aspect of the debate. Heather emphasized the importance of integrating communication theories with human-computer interaction. She identifies several dimensions of interactivity: quick system response, continuous user control, ease of generation information, and promotion of interpersonal communication. This dimension highlight how interactivity is transforming communication in the digital era. Interactive technologies are changing the way we consume media, allowing us to actively participate instead of being a spectator. Interactivity challenges the traditional model of content transmission and empowers the user, although it also imposes limitations. In certain video games, players experience a balance between control and freedom, with their own decision but also restriction imposed by the game design.
Interactivity is a natural process in which users adapt to technology to the point of becoming imperceptible. The cybernetic environment constructs a network that ensnares people, integrating them into its objective without their awareness, tracking their actions and movements. Users transition from being mere receivers, as was the case with previous media such as radio, television, and the press, to also become emitters or prosumers, a combination of producers and consumers. By participating in content creation, they become an integral part of that content. Interactive media aims to enable us to create content that resonates with our own identities, leading us to spend a significant amount of time engaging with technology and feeling connected to the mental structures of other individuals.
We can conclude that the different types of media with any degree of interaction can leave a wide spectrum of interpretations. And the media developed in recent years requires a greater participation from the receiver, who in turn can be a user. A clear example from interactivity between the user and the machine is ChatGPT, which is an AI model that admits its errors, with which you can talk to, and it answers your questions as well. Additionally, we can see the second conclusion being applied here, which is a greater participation from the user/receiver.